In the weeks since first recording audio for this video, I have managed to complete the following game. See, when I do these short reviews, they're my early impressions, but now that I'm off for summer break, I can finish things, like games. So what you'll hear about having not finished the game is a complete lie. I am a liar. About that, at least. However, the opinions I'll share on the game still stand. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you all a heads up. Enjoy the video. Phew, another review that's late to the party. But who cares? Gregorious here with a brief video detailing my impressions and views on the latest game from Respawn Entertainment and Electronic Arts, Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So, as is usually the case, a little background. I was a huge fan of Star Wars growing up, something that, like with many of the fictional works I enjoy, was inherited from my mom. I was around for the reruns, at least, of the old Ewoks cartoon.
We are
I was around for the 20th anniversary of the original film that saw George Lucas do what so many creators want to do, polish their work and update it. And he did, and like so many, he overdid it. I was around for many of the popular 90s Star Wars related games like Dark Forces, Rebel Assault, and Shadows of the Empire. I was around for the prequel trilogy, and truthfully, if those hadn't had such an oversaturation of computer and digital effects, along with goofy stuff aimed at kids, they weren't awful political adventure films. Know why I can say that and most agree with me?
Who are you? I'm Rey. Rey Skywalker.
Yeah. Short version, what Star Wars is now mostly has devolved into political and social pandering with poorly written characters, unjustified arcs, looking at all of you Mary Sues, and legacy characters not being treated with any form of respect. Namely, no one is concerned with telling a good story, but instead only with selling product and getting Twitter users to not be angry with them. You guys made Luke Skywalker a wiener and killed him by making him overexert himself like Elvis on the toilet. And Rey has all the superpowers and therefore is perfect, just like Cartman in the Ninja Weapons episode of South Park?
Hold on, you guys. I actually have another power. I can see into the future too, but better than Cap. Let me try.
God damn it, Cartman, you can't keep making up powers.
Yeah, dude, that's like the 5th power you've come up with. I am Burrug, and I have lots and lots of powers.
No, asshole. From now on, you only get to have one power. So what is it?
I have the power to have all the powers I want.
That doesn't count, fat ass.
Yeah, that's it, Cartman. You don't get to have any powers.
Meh.
Mark Hamill deserved so much better, as did Harrison Ford and the late Carrie Fisher. It's the same sort of thing we've been seeing with Marvel too, and I wonder what the cause could be. Anyway, the good thing is, just like the case with Marvel, is that the video games are mostly great and make up for the lack of effort in the movies and television shows. So, there's that. Now, I've loved about any game that featured a Jedi as a protagonist and felt for a time that it couldn't be done better than the Force Unleashed games. I still think of the original fondly. The sequel, even though the protagonist, Starkiller, felt incredibly overpowered, but at least he was trained by Vader instead of just being strong like Mary Rey Sue. So, I was cautious with Jedi Fallen Order, honestly, but I'm so glad my reservations weren't justified. Jedi Fallen Order was one of my favorite games from the last generation in that it captured what made Star Wars special while also crafting a dark tale with moments of heart and levity, using unique and varied gameplay, and making it hands down a good-looking and well-acted game to boot. It was a Souls-like that was accessible, which is not something that most Souls-like games do, and the challenge was justified instead of feeling cheap. I loved the gameplay despite its imperfections in places. I loved its combat and gameplay loop, I loved the exploration, and most of all, I loved the story and its characters. Now, with its sequel, I can safely repeat all of my praises and then some. It's a great game that's bigger, cleaner, and an extension of what was done so well in the original, plain and simple. So, I've played about a quarter, maybe a third of this game as of this review, and it's simply huge, so I'll be able to share what I've seen so far without fear of too much in the vein domain of spoilers. The video footage is from the first 30 minutes or so. I had some issues with the recording at the time, so forgive that, but you get the idea of what to expect. Let's jump in. Starting with the story, Survivor picks up 5 years after the end of Fallen Order that saw former Padawan Cal Kestis deciding to destroy the holocron containing the names of other Jedi in a bid to establish the Fallen Order, due to his reservations about putting them in the crosshairs of Darth Vader and his Inquisitors, and since his crew featuring pilot Grease Dritus, former Jedi Seer Junda, and Night Sister Marin have all separated. Cal now pilots the Stinger Mantis, Grease's ship, alongside his companion BD-1, and works alongside mercenaries to combat the Empire. After an operation goes horribly wrong and results in the deaths of all of the mercs except one, Boda Kuna, Cal decides he needs to regroup with his distant allies, especially when he learns of a planet in a secluded solar system out of the reach of the Empire. Thus far, Cal has been connecting with his teammates and has met new faces. My favorite is Turgle, while tangling with a former Jedi turned, dark Jedi. Bounty hunters called the Bedlam Raiders, and a freaking Rancor! So yeah, I haven't gotten too deep into the story yet, but it's shaping up to be rich and epic, which I kind of expected anyway. The performances, as they were in the original, are all top-notch, with props going most to Cameron Monaghan. I know he's been in other works and has done well, but here he's especially made Cal a compelling lead.
And you just brought it right to me. Thanks, BD.
Cal originally was very secluded and quiet, a man torn by the tragedy of Order 66, and here, this Cal's seen some stuff, but he's more driven to take the fight to the Empire. Haha, my man! I also love how much Deborah Wilson from Mad TV
Hi, I'm Deborah Wilson.
has become such a mainstay in games, and she's great as always as Seer, though I wish she was more present like in Fallen Order. Perhaps my favorite character in this one has been Tina Ivlev's Marin, who's obviously expanded as a character from the original. Love her dry sarcasm, especially when she's mercilessly slaughtering stormtroopers. Plus, she's a great female character. She's tough, but also vulnerable. She's not perfect. Take note, writers, it's not that hard.
It's almost too easy.
And again, Turgle. He's great. You'll love him too, I promise. The gameplay, at least from a basic level, hasn't changed as much as it's expanded. This is a Souls-like, after all, built on exploring and fighting enemies with planning and care instead of chaotic action. Kill enemies, earn experience. If you die, you have to regain it from the enemy that killed you. Use experience to buy new moves, buffs, and powers. Rest at a, rest area, and you'll respawn enemies. So yeah, Souls-like. When you fight enemies, it's about dodging, parrying, and striking when the time is right. If you can attack first without being seen, the better off you are. In terms of exploration, you can wall run, double jump, force pull ropes, and open shortcuts. You can use BD-1 to scan items and enemies, open boxes, use equipment, pull up a map, all of that. Oh, and by the way, they don't make you start from the ground up again. You have the same powers Cal obtained in the first game. Now, how have things expanded? Well, first, your moveset. You have new force powers, one of the best that I've seen being the mind trick, allowing you to make enemies work for you. There are even some dialogue instances where Cal literally talks a stormtrooper into doing something for him, which can be darkly hilarious. You also have new stances and can only equip 2 at a time. I've unlocked them all at this point, and they are just your normal stance, dual sabers, the big double-sided saber, the Kylo Ren style saber, and a blaster. Yes, a Jedi can use a gun! It gave me Kyle Katarn flashbacks. Oh, you don't know him? Look up when Star Wars didn't suck Wookiee taint, you nerf herder. You know, the pre-Kathleen Kennedy era.
What a dick.
All of these stances have their own individual skill power-ups too. Lastly, and I think this is the most unique expansion to the gameplay, at least compared to the gun, is that Cal can tame animals to ride. So, like Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom meets Red Dead Redemption with, you know, aliens, blasters, and light swords. It actually helps with exploration and even with speed too. It's a cool mechanic. Now, if only Cal can pick up hookers and lightsaber them to get his cash back. The graphics and music are all top-notch. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like when games are simply games, but I'm a sucker for movie-like spectacle, and in all fairness, as I've already hinted, this game and its prequel have done more for Star Wars in terms of presentation than the modern movies or shows. So, all in all, I love this game and look forward to finishing it. It's a continuation of the previous game in all of the right ways, building onto the established foundation and adding more nuance to its characters and even gameplay while also pushing it in exciting directions. It really makes you feel like a Jedi. I enjoyed this next chapter of Cal's journey and am curious to see if they choose to do so, where it leads next. I just hope that they continue doing what they did here and don't drop the ball like the other Star Wars media seems to keep doing. Hey Disney, you want to do Star Wars right and not keep missing free throws like Shaq? Look at these games. Yeah, these. See? This is the way.
This is the way.
If you're a Star Wars fan and haven't checked this one out, then what's wrong with you, huh? I promise you won't be disappointed.
Do it.
Come on. Do it. Do it!
Anyway, that's all for now. Later.